So here we are at the end of 2016. A lot has happened this year. We've lost many of the world's icons and witnessed some monumental events that will have a lasting effect globally. And for me personally, this year's been pretty interesting, somewhat defining the early stages of my career. I wanted to make a video to somewhat round up 2016 from my point of view. I'll point out the goals I set myself professionally and how I stacked up against them. And finally, we'll discuss some of the plans that I've got in 2017 for me professionally and for GrapeVineRecording. So I guess the best place to start would be to discuss where I was at the beginning of 2016. In terms of the film work that I was doing, I had done a little bit of work at the latter end of last year, but not really that substantial. A lot of the work kind of just came a little bit at a time. I may have worked on a movie for a couple of weeks in 1 month and then waited over a month for the opportunity to work on another one. So for me, that was the main thing that I needed to change. I needed to kind of find a way where I could be more consistently working and not going through stages like feast or famine. Now, throughout this year, I've had a lot of amazing opportunities to work with some extremely talented people, and everyone I have worked with have given me that little bit of a step forward, which is exactly what I was looking for. It's to be able to have the opportunity to work with more and more people, to increase your network of colleagues, other filmmakers who trust the work that you do. And I think that was a massive step for me, not only to improve the quality of work that I was doing, but kind of getting my name out there more and more, to build a network of other filmmakers, so to try and force yourself to be in a position that if they needed audio for a film or a TV show or whatever, that I would be very much at the top of that list, or at least as close to the top of that list as I could possibly get. So consistency was definitely a number one priority for me, especially throughout the entirety of this year, because I believe that if I was constantly working, if I was working on a movie, constantly going from one to the other, then I would always be improving. So always consistently having a project to work on throughout the last year really allowed me to improve the quality of work, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the next thing. Another goal that I set myself was to try and work on as many different genres as possible. Before this year, the thing that I've been mainly working on would be kind of like, I guess, like a murder mystery, like a drama type thing would have been the closest that I could equate it to in terms of genre. But what I wanted was to kind of try and work on a comedy, an action film, a horror film, and try and learn as much as I can about the audio signifiers of these different genres so that I can best implement it myself. So obviously there are certain things that occur in a horror movie that might not necessarily occur in a slapstick comedy movie, and it was just to build my database of sounds and database of tropes, I guess, in my own head, that would allow me to go, well, this is the type of thing I'm working on, so this is the type of sound that I need to be going for. And again, that was definitely the case. I'll look at it in a moment, but having the opportunity to work on a lot of different types of movies definitely allowed me to kind of be, to expand my audio horizons, I guess. So they were the main kind of overarching goals for the year. One was definitely like the consistency that I was talking about, and the other one, I guess you'd talk of versatility, kind of looking at a few different genres and trying to learn as much as possible. So definitely consistency and versatility were the overarching kind of needs for that year. And it basically got put down to a number, and it was the way I did it was that I wanted to get, on my IMDB page, I wanted to get 10 credits. Although, like, at the beginning of the year, that was like unheard of. That was a unattainable, top of the mountain, couldn't get to it, because I just couldn't see a way to be able to get involved with as many things as possible, to be able to get up, to that number. It was hard. It was very, very hard to do. I'm not gonna lie. It took a lot of emails. It took a lot of pestering people, and it took a lot of, a lot of work, a hell of a lot of work. But as you'll see, I'll put it on screen. I managed to get it. I managed to get the 10. The funny thing is, as you'll see, is that some of these were from 2015, and some of them are coming out in 2017. However, I ended up working on a lot more movies than had actually posted on IMDb. A couple of the main projects that I'm working on aren't actually on IMDb yet because they're coming out next year, and they're trying to keep it all under wraps for as long as possible. But yeah, I got the 10. I got the 10 that I was very happy with. I think throughout the year, I probably worked on about 15 to 17 different projects, audio related. As I say, some of them didn't get IMDB credits as yet, and we are indeed working on that. And it's fair to say as well that a lot of them credits that you'll see, a lot of them movies are, again, of a lot of different genres. For example, Dark Edge is a sci-fi action movie. 3 Minutes for Marius is kind of like a political comedy. And Couch Potato is kind of like a two-shot drama, which is 100% dialogue. So there are a lot of different genres in there. There are a lot of different skills that I had to develop to try and do these jobs. And a lot of the work that I did on them I've actually pushed on to allow me to work on the current set of films that I'm working now. A lot of word of mouth and a lot of show reel type things have been sent out based on these films. Maybe the director's very much like, well, I need someone to come and do the sound for this who's got a good knowledge in dialogue editing. Well, I just go pick up the Couch Potato clip and be able to go, here's a film that I worked on where basically 99% of the job was dialogue editing. So having that in your bag of tricks has definitely been useful. And of course, you'll hear this a lot, and I do believe that it's true, is that experience is the most important thing. It's very, very useful, of course, to know people and to be in situations where you know someone in a very good position. But at the end of the day, you've got to do the job. And I think the best way to get experience is just to do it, to be able to work on as many different things as possible definitely increases your chances of getting further work in the future. As I say, this time last year, I was looking at not understanding how to get my foot in the door, really. But just, banging on enough doors and emailing enough people, managed to get little jobs. And of course, I've mentioned this before on the channel, it's free work. But passing up that free work would have, lost me the opportunity to make them little first steps, which, because of them, led to paid work and has now led to more paid work and allowed me to be more consistent and to constantly have projects to work on. So all them little steps of just emailing people and trying to find people in your area who are making movies and making them believe in you, because you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to know that this is what you're good at and try and convey that to the people who are in the position to make movies, to try and get you involved. And as I say, all them little steps have led towards me hitting that goal of 10 IMDB credits. And again, that's not the end goal. That's not, that doesn't measure how good you are of a sound designer. Of course not. We all want to bring home the Oscar. That's the peak. But these are definitely them steps that you set for yourself. That was mine, and maybe yours is something different. But having that in place, having that where you can constantly look at it and constantly compare yourself with the goal that you've got, is super useful to keep yourself concentrating, keep yourself focused on the things that you've got to do that year. So let's have a quick look at the YouTube channel, shall we? This is where obviously this video will be posted. I'd imagine that 99% of you know who I am because of the YouTube channel, and that's absolutely fine. So 2016 has been a pretty substantial year for Grapevine Recording. Again, I've had this channel for a good couple of years now, and I think the channel started in 2014, but it was only really this year when things actually started rolling, if you will. I thought, we started as a music channel because when we started it, that's what my focus was. When I was in university, I was doing a lot of music, and I did things like mixing techniques, kind of similar type of things to what I do now, plugin reviews and things like that. But it got to a point where I actually stopped doing that because I noticed that, well, this isn't what I'm doing professionally, so I would have to have two different, facets, I don't think that's the word, going on. So I would have to be working all day on a film, but then to create a YouTube video for Grapevine, I would be doing music, and that's kind of adding a whole another level of complexity to what I'm doing. So it stopped for a while, but the thing that I noticed is that the channel was still getting subscribers, still getting views, still getting comments, and I was like, it seems such a waste that I'm not actually doing more with it, because the things that I was talking about, people actually found interesting. So what I decided to do beginning of this year was to start it up again, but focus primarily on sound design for films, games, TV, the stuff that you kind of see now. And then things just went ridiculous. In this year alone, we've grew by over like half. So in the year of 2016, we've grown. We doubled from the 2 years previous. Views were up. I think, average view duration was up. Subscribers were up. Engagement was up, and it was just phenomenal, because it was not nothing I ever expected. Don't get me wrong. I thought, well, if you do more videos, more people will come. That's just the nature of the beast. But definitely not in the way that I thought it was going to. Because of this, the Facebook account got more likes, and I've spoken to many of you through that, through Twitter, through just the YouTube comment section. We've managed to create more of a dialogue, which is phenomenal. And it's great when, I do a video and someone goes, well, here's my idea on it, and you're like, well, great, that's the point for this, is to kind of create a dialogue, and to create, for me to learn from yous as much as yous to learn from me. So as you can see on the screen right now, there was that initial bump, I think, in around February or March, and that was the Waves NX video, and that's been probably the most controversial video that I've done so far. I've already mentioned on the comments for that it was probably something that I didn't do exactly right, and maybe rushed a little bit too eagerly to create the video, and not necessarily got things wrong, because the things that I do talk about in the video are indeed correct, but just maybe did it in the wrong way. So it is a video that I'm probably going to revisit at some point. Luckily, after that video, I had a little bit of a conversation with Waves, believe it or not, and I've been sent one of the NX trackers, the things that go onto your headphones. So I'm going to try and redo a video for that, kind of explain what their stuff does. Obviously, it's not influenced by them at all. I don't have to say things in a certain way or anything like that. So that's something that I'll be doing next year for sure. And again, as you can see, just things are just naturally on the up. And this is something now for next year that we want to improve on. For 2016, I didn't necessarily have a goal in mind. I just wanted to, again, just be a little bit more consistent, kind of use the channel the best I can, kind of push more content towards the type of stuff that I want to do, and hope that more and more of you guys actually like it. A more recent example of a success of the channel, I guess, was the microphone comparison, where we compared the BM800 to NT1 and things like that, and that was massive. It was massive for the stuff that I want to do. And again, if more and more people joined the channel, more and more people commented and kind of discussed, and we were all pretty surprised that the BM800, which is, a £10 microphone from eBay, outperformed an NT1, which is a £150 microphone. And it was great. It was a great experiment, and I think it did well to open people's eyes. But the thing is that it allowed me to think, well, what is this channel then? What are we going to do? Would videos along them lines be more successful than others? Who knows? I think there's definitely a middle ground there somewhere, where we can look at both, videos where I look at the work that I'm doing. I did things like recording footsteps, which did well. I did the Inside the Sound series that did well. And I think there's definitely some good stuff there. And then, as well as that, we look at other things, maybe go a little bit more musical, where we look at miking up guitars and stuff like that, because that's still definitely something I can do, and it's still definitely something that I've got an interest in. It's just whether or not it'll convolute the channel too much. I don't want it to be halfway one way, halfway the other. I'd like to have a focus, and that's what we do. But that's something that we look at in 2017. So leading from there, I think it's now the best time to look at what we're going to be doing in the future. Professionally, I've still got a lot of things in the mix that I'm working on. I think my goal now, I'd love to get to 20 things on IMDb. However, I think for me, my own personal goal is to maybe not be freelance anymore. Maybe try and get a full-time bit of work in a studio somewhere. Again, there's some things that I'm working on now which might potentially lead to that. but obviously I just can't really talk about them just yet until things have actually happened. I mentioned in a previous video just before Christmas that there was a bit of news coming which will hopefully be big news. I can't really say what that is. It's just kind of doing what I'm doing now, but on a much bigger scale. When I can talk about it and contracts are signed, I will. So for me, I think the overall goal, like the best case scenario, would be I'd be working at a post house somewhere or a game studio somewhere. I think that would be the best case scenario for me. But as we know in all this, best case scenarios aren't the only scenario. And if not, and if I have to continue doing this type of thing that I'm doing, I'd love to get to something like 25 credits, which just proves that I've worked on a project or a film a month. Again, I'd like to work on more than that if possible, work on more interesting things. I'd love to do something in a game. I'd love to do something that maybe gets on TV or gets a full release. That would be phenomenal. A lot harder to do in the current situation that I'm in, but definitely a goal. And for the YouTube channel, I guess the main thing, again, is just to become more and more consistent, and hopefully the growth continues. Based on what we're looking at, we're nearly at 500 subscribers now. To be able to push to 1,000 this year would be phenomenal. I'd love that. I don't necessarily care too much about views as such, because the views on this type of content fluctuate so much. A plugin review could get 10 times more than the average view of everything else, so that's kind of the way it is. And really, the main thing for me would be to kind of create more of a conversation between us. I'd love you to comment more so I can comment back. And, you know, I want to learn more about the subscribers that are here on the channel. I want to learn what yous are doing, why yous like this channel, because then it allows us to shape the content a little bit easier. Yous basically become a producer of the channel. Yous get to moderate the type of content that comes out. Yes, there'll always be things that I would want to do, and you know, I would push as like my overall idea for the channel, but it gives you an amazing opportunity to go, well, I've heard you've got this microphone, what does that sound like on a contrabass or something? I don't have a contrabass, so please don't suggest that. But as I say, that allows us to collaboratively moderate the content of the channel. You know, if you want more music stuff, I can definitely do that. If you just want me to go out and record aeroplanes, I'll definitely try and do that. And it's great. I think that'll definitely help the channel as a community grow. And obviously, the more impressions you leave, like likes, comments, shares, stuff like that, definitely help boost the channel. You know, the more you just let people know about the channel, the more obviously we'll grow and we get more. You know, we're able to do more stuff, which is obviously the end goal. So I guess for the most part, that's kind of it. It's been a crazy year. It really has. I think as a learning experience, it's been phenomenal. The amount of work that I've done more film work this year than I have, you know, in any other year combined. And to be constantly busy has been an amazing like blessing in a way. You know, it's been great to just constantly learn your craft and learn new things and make mistakes and meet new people, and it all works together into one. And as I say, with YouTube as well, it's been just an unbelievable growth, and now it's just trying to figure out the best way to show what I want to show to you guys, and for you guys to let me know what you want to see. It kind of works. It works in tandem. And as I've said all along, using this camera, I wanted it just to be a window into the work that I do, and to be in a good way to document the type of things that I do work on. And because I want this to be like a diary for me. I want this to, you know, in 20 years time, if YouTube's still going, that I could look back and see, well, oh, look, this is what it was like in 2016. And then hopefully next year, this is what it was like in 2017. Let's compare the type of things that have gone on. And yous are all as important as the other filmmakers that I see. You know, yous are all here helping this thing grow. And yes, still at this point, we don't necessarily know what this thing is or what it will be. But the fact that you come and watch these videos and help, you know, push them, and, you know, you like them and you comment them and you share them around, it really does help push the idea of Grapevine forward. And I'll tell you now, I've been hired for a job because of the comments and stuff that yous have left, because filmmakers have looked at the community that I've tried to build, and I've gone, well, that's great. You know, that's the type of thing that we want. And then they've hired me because of you guys. So it's a phenomenal thing. It really is. It's a very powerful thing, and it's something that if we can cultivate, it can really, really do well. So I ask for your help in doing that. But yeah, I guess that's it. That's been 2016 for me on a professional and from a YouTube point of view. Obviously, there's a lot of personal things that have happened that were not really the place to discuss. But it's been phenomenal. It really has. It's been such an eye-opener. It's been a privilege. It's been a pleasure to work on so many great projects. It's been amazing to focus more and more time into creating what I believe are good videos for yous. And long may that continue. I really am loving it and really want it to grow and continue and things like that. So I just want to say I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you all have a very happy New Year. I wish you all the very best of luck, prosperity to you and your family. Please let me know what stuff you are working on down below and let us discuss a little bit more. But yeah, this has been Dan with GrapeVineRecording, and I'll see you all next year.